Hello and welcome all of you to my YouTube channel Mr. Expert. So today we are in our session number 6 of the Rest Assured training series. So in my previous session I discussed with you how to run get and post examples. In my today's lesson I'll discuss with you how to run put, delete and patch examples. So let's get started. So in case if you have missed my previous sessions, you can go to this YouTube channel Mr. Expert and you can refer the videos sequentially, right? And I have created the playlist as well, which you can refer. So everything is there all together. And yeah, so for today's lesson, same as earlier, I'm going to refer these fake APIs from the reqres.in web page. So if you scroll down a bit, so in my previous examples, I used this example, right? Get example, and for today's lesson, I'm going to use this one. So put stands for update. So let me select this, and in here, the resource will be updated using the information or the data mentioned here. So let me just go to this API endpoint. So here it's like this, right? So let me go to Eclipse and just to recall the things that we discussed in our previous session. So I created this get post examples.java class for my previous session. And for today's session, I'm going to create a new test class, right? So let me just right click on this test package and let's create a new class like this. So let me name it as put patch delete examples. So if you can remember, in my previous sessions, I just deselected everything and said finish. So today also, I'm going to do that. So I hope you can see the things here. So let me just zoom it a bit. Yes. So here also we need the payload or the body. So I'm going to copy the previous function which we used to test post. So let me just copy everything here. And like I can paste it in my today's example, right? Okay, so let me just modify this one. So we don't need these things. And let me rename this as put test, since we are testing put. Uh, and I'm using the JSON object simple, JSON simple library to create a JSON object. And in here, uh, so this is the body, right? So if you move to like this one, put update in here, this is the body name and job. So in my case, this is fine, right? Name and job is there. And for this one, I'm going to say put, right? So let me check the base URI and endpoint. So let's move to the reqres.in web page, and I'm just going to click on this to get the endpoint. So for this, this is the base URI, so that's fine. So for the endpoint, I'm going to copy this part and I'm going to paste it here, right? In here, the endpoint is only this one because we copied the function from my previous example. So I'm going to copy this part. So this is the endpoints and this is the base URI. And I updated this as put. And I'm going to check the status code 200, not 201. Um, and in here, these are the imports that I have used. Rest assured base URI and given. So yes, let's save this and I'm going to run this. Just right click on this one and click run as test engine. So yes, it's green color. And if I move to the console, yes, you can see. So this is the response, and it's updated at this particular time. So that's it about our get example. Sorry, put example. Yes. Next, we can test patch. So let's move to our website reqres.in, and in here, if you scroll down a bit, in here we have patch. So patch again stands for update. So in here also the body looks the same. It contains name as well as job. So let me just click on this endpoint, and again if I move to Eclipse, so since I'm going to use the same body, I'm going to copy the same function here, and just paste it, and we can rename the method as patch, right? Patch test. So in here, instead of put, now I'm going to say patch, and I'm going to do a slight difference here, right? I'll keep this part as the base URI, and I'll paste this as the endpoint. So if you go to this and check the endpoint, you can see it contains the same endpoint. So this part I'm going to use as the API endpoint. So let's move to this one. Again, if I were to recall what I did here, I just copied the same function, put function here, and I pasted it here, and I renamed it as patch test. And then I changed the base URI, so it looks like this. And if you go to the endpoint, it's like this. And in here earlier it was put. Now since we are going to test patch, I just replaced patch with put with patch. Okay, so let me save everything, and let's run and see what happens. Just right click on the script and go to run as testng test. Okay, it's green color, and if we move to the console, yes, in here it's working fine, and you can see um, it's updated at this time. So that's it about the patch example. Now let's move to the delete option. Okay, so in here also I'm going to use the some example from this reqres.in web page. So let's go to this one, delete. So in here, uh, so the response status code HTTP code is 204. So if you go to this one HTTP methods, and if you go to this HTTP delete here, you can see 204, right? So okay, so let's go to this endpoint. So here you can see the API and endpoint is same as earlier. So let me go to this example, and I'm going to just copy this function which I used for patch test, and let's modify that or edit that, right? So I'm going to rename the method as delete test, right? And then I don't need these things, so I'm going to copy up until this base URI, right? And I don't need these things either, right? So I can keep this given, but for now I'm going to delete everything here till when, right? So base URI and the endpoint are same, but we have to update this as delete. Okay, so as I have shown earlier, the status code now is 204. And here you get an error. So if you move up and move to the imports, let me just delete this one, and I'll say all, import all. Okay, and I don't need this import, given import. Okay, so let's scroll down a bit. Yes, I'm going to save everything, and let's run this and see what happens. So this is very simple. You can see the function is a bit shorter than earlier. So when I delete this particular API, what happens? we are going to check the status code is 204 or not. So let's save this and simply run this. Okay, so it's green color, right? So let's move to the console. Okay, you can see delete example is fine now. And you can see the number of test cases are 3 and failures equals to 0 and skip test cases are equals to 0. Okay, so today we discussed how to run a put request, a patch request as well as a delete. Okay, so for testing purposes, I actually used some fake APIs in this reqres.in web page. So you can see there exist couple of fake APIs for methods get, post, put, patch, and delete. So in here, posts stands for create, but uh, in the it actually does not create an object, right? So uh, in my upcoming session, I'll discuss with you how to create your own APIs and how to create a server to host those APIs. So I hope today's session was useful for you guys. So let's meet in our next session. Thank you.